Okay, so this is my bed that I grew in last summer. I had tomatoes, tomatillos, zucchini. I had a Kakai pumpkin in here. But you'll notice, look what happens over the winter. And this is typical. Now, a lot of people might think that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pulling these out of here and then get rid of them. But actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to pull these. I'm going to pull the large ones. I'm not going to worry about some of these small grass. But here's the deal. I look at it this way. These doggone weeds took over my bed, sucked up nutrients, and if I were to just pull these guys out of here and then haul them away, what I've allowed is that I've allowed them to suck up nutrients, create all this green foliage, and then take it away and suck it out of my bed. Well, I'm not going to do that. It's not really necessary for me to pull those out. I don't know why I'm doing it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that they give back what they took. And the way that I'm doing this is I'm going to kill them right where they are. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to bury them. Now, if your bed is... Now, I have a few beds that are not sunken like this. This is just because I had so much decomposed material in here. There's some old beans. It sunk because I had a lot of compost in here. So on some of the beds where I don't have this much space like this, I will eliminate the step of putting more dirt in. But I'm going to put more compost in first, and I'm going to bury them. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, Tom, they're just going to grow right through that dirt. You're actually feeding them nutrients. Well, under normal circumstances, that is true. However, let me fill this up, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do after I do that. Okay, so I finished filling it up with compost. And then I put 2 bags of the G&B composted chicken manure. They're the 30-pound bags. And this bed is 4 foot by 12 foot. So 30 pounds for a 4 by 12, which is what? 48 square feet. And for the 16-foot beds, I usually put 3 bags. Of course, if you can get composted chicken manure locally, of course, that's the best thing. But yeah, I don't have chickens anymore. I plan on getting more eventually someday, but for right now, I just buy the organic composted chicken manure. It's pretty inexpensive. And then on top of this, I'm going to spread a layer of worm castings. And this is all that I'm going to amend the bed with. That's pretty even right there. So all of those weeds are buried. Now, don't worry, I'm not done yet. I have to unbury my drip hoses. Okay, so I put 2 5-gallon buckets of worm castings on this bed. I think that's going to be plenty. I kind of have to spread it out over 8 beds, 9 beds I have in here, so I generate a lot of the worm castings myself, so I just kind of use whatever I have. So I figured that 2 5-gallon buckets was about good for each bed. And the chicken manure and the worm castings together have been the best combination that I have found as far as amending these beds. And the last step is to put down this paper. And I'm going to put it underneath the drip lines. And this is called builder's paper. I think that's what Home Depot calls it. But it's just brown paper. It's made for, putting down to protect floors or something like that. Or It even says on the label that it's good for landscaping too. So I'm putting, at least 2 layers on here, maybe 3. I'm going to guess that there are some concerns that people are going to raise with using this paper on top. And I think probably one of the concerns is that you're probably thinking, some of you are, why didn't I put the paper directly on top of the weeds and then put the chicken manure and the worm castings on top of it? Well, here's the problem. In the past, when I've done that, it's only giving me like 2 or 3 inches that I plant in, and then the roots will go down, hit the paper, and if the paper hasn't decayed enough, the roots won't go through the paper, believe it or not. And that's just from experience. Now, if I put this down early enough, of course, it'll have plenty of time. But I'm going to be putting, I didn't bring my scissors with me. I'm going to be putting stuff in here almost right away. And so, if it was going to be stuff that I was, like my tomatoes, I've got another 6 weeks, well then it would be perfectly fine to put it directly on top. And then I guess maybe another concern for some people would be, well, okay, now the plants, the weeds here have 2 or 3 inches that they can grow, that like I'm feeding them nutrients, and 2 or 3 inches that they can grow before they get here, and they might be stronger. Well, actually, I haven't found that to be the case. So now what I'm going to do is just put a mulch on top of this, probably grass clippings. I've got plenty of that in here. And that will keep this weighted down, and it'll help it to break down. So what I will do when it comes planting time, I will just dig a hole here. I'll move the mulch aside, dig a hole, and put my plants right in the dirt. Now, if you wanted to, what you could do is you could use black plastic. I've done that before. Okay, so in the north garden here, I only grow in raised beds and pots and containers, but this method works for in the ground growing as well. So whatever method you use, it'll work just fine. And as I said before, you can use black plastic in the beds too. The advantage to it is that you could just lay it on top and then put some rocks on it to keep it from blowing away, and it's good all summer long. Just cut some holes in it to plant your plants, and you're done, and your drip system will just go right along. I've seen people put it underneath the plastic. You can put it on top of it and then just have your drip emitters at each plant. That works fine too. I prefer to put the drip system underneath it. That way, if there's any water that sprays off or drips off, it won't just sit there and then just evaporate and I'm wasting water. But I mostly use the paper, but I have used the black plastic before, and it works fine too. It'll last for years. So anyways, whichever you use, this is the best way to kill your weeds. Don't till them in and don't pull them out. Just kill them where they are and make sure that they give back to you what they've taken. So that's how I do it. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you hit that little bell, then you'll get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.